Hey everyone, I'm going to be doing another demo reading for my website, and this is Pan the Hunter, and I'm using the Angel and Ancestors Oracle deck for this spread. I call on my guides and your guides and all beings of light to assist me with this reading, and that everyone watching this gets a clear and accurate message for them. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry. So this one is a 10-card spread. Sorry guys, I can use a new tripod. So I'm going to be shuffling the deck and just be thinking of the energies. And again, this is just a demo spread. This isn't directed to anyone or anything. It's just more of like if you order your own personal reading, this is what it's going to kind of pertain to and what's going to be looked into. So again, I went ahead and said a prayer. I used some Dragon's Blood Good Fortune spray, and I'm going to be using what I got in front of me, which is some pyrite, amazite, a dialite. I got some peacock ore, clear quartz, Hydron the Conqueror root, some pyrite in here, bay leaf, some cowie shells, and I have some, I'm trying to think, green aventurine, and then I also have amethyst right here. So the first, I'm going to just shuffle 4 times because that's what Spirit's telling me, and then I'm going to go through the positions, okay? And I can do this by Zoom. I can do it by email. I can do it by private YouTube video. So only you and I will have the link after you order. So that is what your options are. Okay. So the first one is, what is seeking you? Summer, bask in joy and light. So if I was reading this for someone in particular, I would say that they really need to focus on more what makes them happy. When I think of the bees, I think of maybe making a sweetener jar, and you would just put honey in there, and you can put cinnamon in there, and you could put some roses in there. So this is more towards yourself and what makes you happy, focusing in on that. That is what's seeking you, is your own desires, your own wants and needs. And perhaps if this was someone's reading, I would say to them, where have you been in more of that winter stage where you're hibernating, you're isolating yourself, you're feeling more maybe under the weather or depressed or maybe even anxious. And so this is really about working hard for what you need for yourself and not focusing on what others need at this time. Number 2 is, what's in the woods watching over you? So this is just like kind of like Pan the Hunter, and when we think of that, we think of the woods, we think of more of the wild side of life and what is kind of a mystery to us. Traveler, move in a new direction. So someone is, I would say if this was an actual reading and this wasn't a demo reading, I would say that this person, one of their ancestors is watching over them, or perhaps a new guide is watching over them, because as the card depicts, it's letting you know that someone is wanting to get your attention. Someone is really wanting you to see your own value and see that things need to move in a new direction for the better. Let me go ahead and kind of move things up a little bit. Let me put these prayer cards over here and put the cards right here. So that's what I'm seeing. Clearly, that's what I'm seeing right now is, and this demonstration is, someone is trying to travel into your current, state of being, and trying to grab your attention to the point of, hey, we're watching over you, we're trying to grab your attention. There is something that is watching you from a distance, and it might be scary, it might be new. We see from a higher point of view, and that is just how things are going, and they really are trying to grab your attention. It could be a male, it could be female, there could be no gender, it could just be spirit in general as a whole. But as the card depicts, it's a woman. So I would almost say it would be an ancestor, or something of an origin, maybe an ancestor from a different time and a different location than where you're currently residing. Excuse me. Ooh. Okay, so number 3 is, what is hunting you down in your dreams? So this could be subconsciously, unconsciously, and it could be in your daydreams, or it could be in your night dreams when you're asleep. And we have the Stargazer. See your sights higher. Set your sights higher. Sorry about that. So again, this is another guide. They're hunting you down. They're trying to use every resource available. They're trying to get you to see something that your purpose moving forward in the present and in the future is so important to them that they're trying to grasp your attention to the point of where it's almost so vital for your well-being. It's not just, finances, and it's not spiritual. It's every aspect of your life is what I'm getting at. And also with this depiction, I feel like they're trying to communicate with you in symbols, because as you can tell, this person is looking at, with very intent in this person's eyes, but they're also pointing to a tool that has a lot of symbols in it, as you could tell right here. And this is a female, and then there's some sigils, and then there's some zodiacs and some old ancient, I would say, not talismans, but symbols, sigils, however you want to say it. They're really grabbing your attention. They're trying to point you. So sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. They're trying to get you to see this and to acknowledge it. The 4th one is, what message does God, Pan, Hunter have for you? So this is more of a Wiccan, a witchcraft spread, and that's okay. But I also look at this spread as I've had a lot of dreams about the Green Man, and so that is correlation to the Hunter, Pan, the male aspects of deity. Okay, so that's what we're really looking into. It doesn't have to exactly be Pan, but this is what the spread is here for. Eagle. See from a higher perspective. I mean, come on now. This is just, wow. So this is saying that, what message does Pan, God, the male aspects of your life, or your identity, or direction, path, whatever you want to look at it, it's trying to tell you that, hey, we see from a higher perspective, you're supposed to be doing bigger and better things, and right now you're playing small. For whatever reason. It might be because you've been hurt, because you are trying to create a path that is more about forgiveness and not so much about boundary setting. It could be a possibility of things, right? But this is just a demonstration. If I was actually going to be reading this for someone specifically, I would be more detailed, because that is what they paid for. That's what they're looking into. And I really did like the Zoom. I was nervous at first, I'm not going to lie. I used to do some in-person readings, and that was nerve-wracking, but it just flowed so nicely. And you get in the zone, is what I call it, or you get into spirit and you get in the channel, and it flows so nicely. So a lot of my social anxiety kind of just goes away when I'm doing what I'm meant to do, you know? So I like the Zoom because I got to correlate with a client of mine, and it was nice because they get asked questions right away. If they didn't understand, they needed me to rephrase it, they needed me to ask more questions, I was happy to do that. And so if it ran over time, you just jump back on, you know what I mean? So I really enjoyed that. I feel like it's people get their money's worth more that way, in my personal opinion, but I kind of was going to do a poll on my Facebook soon about that because that just kind of reminds me. I need to write that down so I don't forget it, because I will forget it if I don't write it down. What I also was going to say was, again, I don't care if anyone that is watching this does their own tarot business and wants to use these card spreads. I have channeled these from my own spirit and with my own guides. However, I do not care if you guys sell them and you use these spreads, as long as you give me credit. So you could put Heather Downey from Raven Hope. You could put Raven Hope. You could put Heather Downey. I don't care. And you can sell them on your own. The only thing I want is credit, you know, that I created the spreads. But I don't care if you're gonna, you know, use them on your own shop and you're gonna get money off of them. I want Spirit to really know that I'm grateful and that I try to stay humble. And if I was going to take a spread from somebody, I would definitely give them credit. However, at this point in time, I don't believe I have anybody's current spread on my shop that I have not created myself. And but if I ever did, I would do the same thing. You know, I would expect the same. I'd want to give the credit where the credit's due, if that makes sense. So, like I said, that's just a little in the middle disclaimer that you guys could use the spread. Just please make sure that you're giving me credit and that, you know, let me know how I can make the spread better even. You know, I'm fine with, you know, constructive criticism, especially from other tarot readers and oracle readers. But these are just what I channel. I mean, there probably could be better questions directed towards this spread, but yeah, I kind of got on a tangent there. Went off a little bit. But the next one is position 5. And this is, what new challenges must you face to advance in your life? We have winter. Take care of your needs. Wow. This is the perfect, I'm not going to lie, you guys. I was going to actually use, which deck was it? It was the Archangel Animal Oracle deck by Diana Cooper. And something's like, nope, don't use that deck. Don't use that deck. You need to use the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. I'm like, okay. Because it's like I created the spread and then I looked for the deck. And it just didn't feel right. So this is the only deck that felt right. And I could see why now. But this is really saying that you're going to have to put yourself first. And like, it depicts the lone wolf, isolation, things like that. And I feel like Spirit's wanting me to point this out, especially with the other question that kind of goes into it. We talked about the winter. We talked about your needs. We talked about isolation and being the lone wolf, being the solitary person, the hermit. So when this card came up, it kind of automatically made me think that, yes, it's important to have your individual time and reassess and everything. Sorry, my dog is trying to get in. Hold on a second, guys. This video is all over the place. I apologize. Come on. Get in here. Look at this. It's a chihuahua. What do you expect? Okay, so sorry, guys. Anyway, so that is kind of what it was coming in my mind from my guides, was saying that a lot of the times you have thought about, how can I get some of my needs and wants covered? Sorry, I got it. Or even somewhat taken care of whilst taking care of someone else. So let's say, for an example, you have a need and want to get attention, right? So you're going to put all your attention to a person, and they're going to be grateful because you gave them the attention. And so you're still getting attention, but you're not getting it in the way that you deserve, but you're still getting it. So it's almost like half cup. Okay. Yeah, you're trying to look at it from a positive thing. I'm filling their cup up, they're kind of filling mine up. But sometimes you have to fill that whole cup up in order for you to be able to pour into somebody else, is what they're telling me. So that is something to really ask yourself, if that's a shadow work card, really. What challenges, where are you self-sabotaging when it comes to causing more challenges in your life when it could be more cut and clear, is what they're saying. So that's a really deep card, actually, when you peel it back. But like I said, I'm trying to make this as trying to get you guys to see how much this covers without overdoing it. So we're at 16 minutes. I need to stop gabbing. Okay, so number 6 is, what positive changes are coming in your sexual/love life? So this is more of an adult spread, but we're looking at Broken Arrow, embrace the energy of peace. So this is saying you need to really pay attention to where you're putting your love, your sexual energy, all that energy exchange, who you're giving it to. Is it a broken source? Is it from more than one direction? And if it is, why? So it's about asking yourself, how can I make positive changes? Well, we're going to see, is this person going to fulfill my needs without me needing to sacrifice some of my needs just so I can get a little fraction of what I need? Because if I didn't have that person, or I didn't give them what they need, then I wouldn't be getting it at all. So really, it's about finding your equal partner that is going to understand that, hey, I can't give you anything right now, but if you can give me something and you won't use it against me later, please give it to me, and I will do the same for you when your time comes. So it's really about an equal exchange, embracing the energy of peace. Don't cause conflict. Don't be with people that give you conflict. Don't be with energies that cause you confusion or too many distractions. Because when I'm looking at this right here, I'm seeing like different directions, obviously. So that to me is about conflict. It's about being unequal. It's about too many distractions, too many things coming at once. You're not able to focus on what is really needing to happen. Number 7 is, what new message will come to you quickly and to change your life? Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. So this is saying you really need to be aware, mindful. This automatically reminds me of Archangel Raphael because of the green, because of the nature of the card. Working on your heart chakra, as he's kind of depicting in the picture, his hand is over his heart. He's also showing more of like a dream catcher. So really paying attention to, if you're really wanting to quickly change things in your life for the positive, you're going to have to ground. You're going to have to stay rooted. You're going to have to really connect to your heart and let go of other distractions. And that might take some time. It might take several times for you to try to get to a state of clarity and a state of peace and let go of the clutter you have in your mind in order to reach those messages. Number 8, what new path is grabbing your attention spiritually? White Witch, be the light. Wow, that's funny. Like I said, this is perfect deck. Okay, so I love when readings are like this. It's just amazing. It's not even actual reading, it's a demonstration, so that's even better. Because if you can imagine, if it was particularly aligned with someone's energy, wow, right? So this card is really just saying, you need to be your own light. You need to be your own safety, your own boundary setter, your own leader. You really need to lead by example. This card is also about, to me, like I talked about before, leadership. It's about wisdom because we have the owl, but then we have like Pan, as Pan has the, or even the Green Man, he has horns, right? And everyone thinks, oh, it's the devil, it's, you know, crazy energy, it's whatever you want to say. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, guys. But again, the Pentacle, as we know, if it's upright like it currently is, it is about balance. It's about spirit, right? Your spirit is above, everything is below. Now, when we flip the pentagram and this point is pointing down, as you know, if you've done any research like I have, they look at it as it's demonic, as it's satanic. But in reality, that is saying you are putting physical or spirit last, and you're putting the other elements first. So that would be as if someone knows that they're connected to spirit and they know that spirit created all. However, this is their incarnation, this is their life, they're going to make the decisions, they're going to use their will for their own benefits, so to speak. So yes, that could be considered selfish, however you want to say it, but it also could mean that you are putting your physical current needs first. Okay? I'm not explaining it the way I want to. I don't know why Spirit's not letting me, but maybe someone needs to research it and put it down in the comments. But what I'm saying is, so this is saying that you're putting yourself, again, it kind of just goes through everything. The whole purpose of this demonstration, this reading for this example client would be, you need to put yourself first in a way that is going to make things better for you and those around you. Okay? Because if the pentagram was shifted, I would say that they need to possibly shake things up in their life. They would need to put themselves first and be a little selfish, put those boundaries down, say these needs and these boundaries need to be met before I can help you, before I can be in your life, before I can give you resources and help that you need. Because I was reading, I don't even remember what book it was. I believe it was Santicio Marte. It was another book I was reading, and this is more of the darker left-hand path, right? So this was talking about how, kind of like, and it kind of sums up the inverted pentagram in itself, that you are living this life. You know, live your life to the fullest. Don't be judgmental. Don't constantly be putting others down because they made a choice that you wouldn't have. Whatever the reason, it's very interesting. I don't know why I'm getting off on a really big tangent. Spirit must be around and trying to get my attention through this reading. I don't know. But, yeah. So that, I would say, with the pentagram being upward, this is saying the path that is guiding you is a path of more peace, more understanding, more connection, more... Be your own safety, is what I'm hearing. Be your own safety. That's the path that is grabbing you right now and trying to grab your attention. Be your own safety. Okay? Number 9 is, what card does your shadow self must pay to come out of darkness or depression? Sage, be devoted and committed. So, wow. Like I said, this to me is about understanding that your shadow self must pay a new debt. You have paid, I would say if this person was an actual client, I would say there has been times in your life where you're paying a lot of debt and a lot of devotion and a lot of commitment to maybe the wrong people, maybe everybody, and putting you last. But now it's your time to look inward and give that to yourself, so you can be that full cup, so you can give to the right people, so you're able to discern where you can get out of that low vitality, that low quality of life that you've been living in for so long, because you have not been loving towards yourself, and thus giving your connections more of a distracted, chaotic, not always the most positive intention behind it. Your intentions might be pure, but your actions might come off impure because you're so distracted in your mind. You're so distracted with your own health issues, with your own depression, with your own darkness, with your own inability, and not wanting to take accountability for that shadow work, which can be so hard. And some people just, they might not ever do it because it's very hard. It's very strenuous. It's very chaotic, and it takes a lot out of you. So this card would be really asking this person to really be devoted to themselves and to understand that, yeah, you can be a sage, you can be a leader, you could be someone that is, almost an expert, so to speak, in your spiritual self, but there's still more work to be done. There's still more humbling to be done. I talked about this in another video. I don't know if I've posted it yet. I might not post it. I don't know. But I talked about having 2 ego deaths in the last 3 years, and that has been so hard. So hard. One of the hardest experiences I've ever experienced. One was in a relationship, one was in a job. And so that's a big part of your life, So that was 2 big chunks out of my life. And so I had to go through all that. And I'm still currently working through all that. And so, yeah, it can be depressing. It can be in darkness. It can be a price that I didn't want to pay. But at the same time, when I come out of it, it's going to have so much more value. And it's going to be such a great resource. I could be a great resource. Spirit could be a great resource. I can have a testimony to give to other people, to give them their testimony, to give them their credit, to give them their direction, so to speak. And then the last card for this spread, I'm so sorry guys, this was a long video. What black smoke is blocking the mirror of your true self? So this is more like, what's the black smoke? Who's trying to, it's like distracting you from what really is. Autumn, release the old and rest. Okay, so this, to me, perfect. This is telling me that a couple things. One, the black smoke could be using the past as a resource to keep continuing to go back to. Okay? The problem is that, yeah, you're resting. You have to rest in order to move on. But are you resting to revitalize yourself, or are you resting to dwell? There's a difference. And so I would feel that this person's true self is very much someone of life and death and rebirth. However, their true self has not emerged because they're so focused on the death. They're so focused on the releasing part that they're not able to accept. They're not able to fill their cup without feeling guilty, without feeling more pain, without feeling more of, oh, well, if I move on and I don't reference the past, then I've never really learned, or I'm not going to stay humble. And that's not the case at all. So really, they're tricking their own mind. They're tricking their own heart and their own path. They're basically going around the path that they need to take because they're scared to take it. Because that might mean they need to take accountability more in the present moment than what they're willing to currently do, because they still haven't dealt with everything in the past, or they're scared they're going to mess up in the present and in the future. But that's part of life, So I would say to this particular client that you have a key inside of yourself, right? We all do. But I would say this particular client has a spirit key to different portals, to different timelines, to different spiritual gifts that they have not been able to tap into because they're so focused on their current state of being, or what was. And I don't mean their current state of being as in like a negative way, but it's not positive either, because it's keeping them in a dwelling state, if that makes sense. So I would say that their true self itself is very powerful, is very electrifying, is very balanced. They can destruct and they can create, but they're so focused on what has been destroyed that they're not able to see their ability to co-create with the Holy Spirit, with that male higher power. It could be female too, because as we know that, again, it's about, like the card says, autumn and release the old and rest. And that reminds me of when I learned about witchcraft and Wicca, about how, the story is different from the Bible, but it kind of talks about how, the male aspect of deity dies and is comes back as, as a child in the womb, a baby in the womb, and then it's reborn in the spring and summertime. So it's really allowing yourself to be okay with cycles of life, be okay with what's to come, and understand that, fearing it isn't going to help anything. Trying to procrastinate it isn't going to help anything. Really feeling into it and feeling through it is the best option. So I would say the true self is very humble, loving, and magical, but they haven't seen that part of themselves yet, and that is very sad. I almost want to start crying for that person if there was an actual client I was reading for, because they have a lot of things to look forward to, but they haven't, sorry guys, they haven't seen their value yet. Whoa, this is a very weird reading. Sorry guys. Okay, so Spirit's really talking through me tonight. But I gotta get ready for an interview, but I was gonna go ahead and post this video. But this is an example spread of the Pan the Hunter, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you would like to get, your own insight through the spread, please go ahead and purchase on my website, or Raven of Hope, or you can send me a message. I'll link my emails down below. I have 2 that I primarily use, and I will also leave my Facebook and my YouTube channel as well. And you guys can message me to order from me as well that way, if you don't want to go through my website, because the website is kind of jank. I'm not going to lie. I like the old website a little bit better. It was better for me to build from the ground up. This one, I'm confused. There's too much widgets. There's too much buttons and bibs and bobs, and I'm just like, Lord help me. Okay, so it's just best if you just reach out to me, and I can give you a link to my PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. So thanks again, guys, for your love and support. I hope you enjoy, and don't forget, you're more than welcome to use these spreads. Just please give me credit. Many blessings.